Hello, welcome back to Becky Bakes. Today I'm going to make ginger cake. It's really light, it's got a lovely texture and it's actually quite sticky, so I think you'll like this. Now the first thing to do is to line the tin, and it's a slightly deeper than usual small roasting tin. It measures 8 inches, which is 20 centimetres, by 10-ish inches, which is about 26. And to do that we need a piece of greaseproof paper that is just a little bit bigger than the tin. So, mark the corners if you can, just roughly with a pencil. You won't be able to see the ones at the top, so just guesswork. And then cut from the corner of the paper into your pencil mark. Turn it over so the pencil is on the other side, and then fold in those 4 flaps. There we are. Now you've got to make sure it's going to stay in the tin, so a little bit of margarine or oil, piece in the bottom, bit on the sides, and that will just help it stay in place. We put it in. It's always worth taking a little bit of time getting this ready, because you get a better result at the end. There we are. You can see the margarine is holding the paper up at the sides. I'm not worried about it falling in, so that's my tin done. Now, for this, we are going to need some of our dry ingredients, and we rub in the margarine, and then we add our liquid ingredients. And one of those is 240 mils of hot water. So I'm going to do that first, so it's ready. I've got 200 of cold, and I'm going to add 40 out of the kettle, and that will make it warm enough. And to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. And the reason I'm doing this is because the hot water helps the syrup to come off the spoon, and then you've got a better quantity. You're more sure of getting 2 tablespoons, so I can leave that in there and the syrup will melt in the hot water. So back to the dry ingredients. We are going to have 200 grams of self-raising flour, 200 grams of caster sugar. To that we add 1 teaspoon of ginger. Now you can add a bit more, but I wouldn't go crazy and put 2 teaspoons in, because it will have a soapy flavour. That's what happens when you have ginger and bicarbonate of soda. It's the soda that's the clue. It gives you that slightly soapy flavour. So a good teaspoon of ginger, and then a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. This is the raising agent, just a rounded one. That's that. And then our margarine is next. And we've got 55 grams of margarine. It ought not to be too warm because it will be sticky. You're going to rub in with your fingertips. So get the dry things mixed, and then gradually coat the margarine, break it up into smaller pieces, and start to rub it in. Lift, rub, drop, lift, rub, drop. You can turn the bowl so that you get all the spices that have gathered at the edge mixed in. And keep going until you've got no big bits of margarine left. There we are, that's about right. A bit messy. So now the next thing is the liquid, and I count the egg as being part of that. So I'm going to crack my egg into a bowl. Make sure there isn't any shell in there. No, we're okay. Give it a mix. And then this is going to go in along with the water and the syrup. And you can see that the syrup has actually run off the spoon quite nicely, so I'm sure I'm going to get a good 2 tablespoons of syrup in there. So here we go. Egg, hot water and syrup, and this is very runny. It's most unusual. Give it a good stir. You'll finish up with what looks like a batter. Try and get rid of the lumps. The recipe says a wooden spoon, but nowadays wooden spoons are considered not so hygienic, so this is silicone. Wooden spoons crack and then you get germs multiplying in those splits in the wood. Right, now here we go. This is where we pour it into the tin. It's seriously runny. But you can see the silicone spoon gets it all out of the bowl quite nicely, so we don't waste anything. And it's ready for the oven. So it goes in at gas mark 4 for about 35 to 40 minutes, and it will be well risen and obviously golden brown because of the ginger that's in there, but it'll look teddy bear coloured. It'll be lovely. That looks good. Now, if you're not certain if it's cooked, use a skewer and go into one of the bubbles that's burst. Go right down to the bottom. And when it comes out clean, you know it's cooked. So that now needs to cool down in its tin, and you cut it when it's cold. It will take quite a while, so you've got to be patient, but it's well risen, it's springy, it's a bit crusty on the top, and as it cools down it gets a bit stickier. So we'll give that a chance to cool and then cut it. There we are, ginger cake. You should get between, well, anything from 12 to 24 pieces out of that, depending on how big you cut them. Have a go, send us a photograph, like the video, share it, subscribe, and if you go to the website you'll find a printable recipe. So enjoy.